Without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy works. But what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships or at work, not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles and start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And a special offer to ImmaLetYouFinish listeners, you can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/ImmaLetYou, ImmaLetu. That's betterhelp.com/ImmaLetYou, ImmaLetu. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's ImmaLetYouFinish on the Pantheon Podcast Network with your hosts, Court and Amy. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. I don't know. Did people?
Well, one of us is queer.
Is that still a chant?
You're asking the wrong person. Sure, but what I don't even know anymore. There's too many queer. What is queer, non-binary, gender? It's too much. Too confusing.
I say it like
we're here.
I just say
we're here.
Yeah, and I just say I just love everybody, and I try to use zero pronouns so I don't get myself in trouble, and I don't, you know what I mean? Because I say the wrong thing all of the time. So There's that. And
hey,
speaking of,
that's why "Hey you" always works.
You know what I mean? Or hey,
hey.
You know. Oh my God! So Pride just ended in New York. Well, it's technically still Pride Month, but the festivities have wrapped up, and this was the first in-person Pride in New York in over 2 years. And I will say that I did poke my head out a little to a couple of things I was invited to. And it was really, it just was really joyous to see people I had not seen. Some I haven't seen in years because, I wasn't really going out before the pandemic as much. I have to say, since I retired from the music industry, like literally since I retired from the music industry in 2017, I didn't feel the need to really be in the clubs as much as I used to be because I was really at the end of my career doing all of the club music stuff. And I feel like I had that success because I was out, you hear what's going on, blah, 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 blah. So walking into like the Luke and Leroy reunion and seeing people I have not seen in years was just great. And that is the part about Pride that I absolutely do always enjoy, is just seeing the people you haven't seen for a long time. And then I was around a lot of the house music kids, and, they're really happy that,
that they've discovered house music.
Well, here's the interesting thing about right. Here's the interesting thing. No, they're really happy. It's like whether they like this song or that song, I found to be almost irrelevant. What they're enjoying is the fact that people are talking about their genre, because like you and I have talked about, like you have somebody like Alternate, who is she's a black music artist, her genre is house music. So, bringing attention to the genre is, especially to all of these folks who are really working folks, they're already being booked, so there's extra attention, and that's always great. The thing they don't like is actually the media around it, with people saying the resurgence of house music and those kind of articles. And because house music never went anywhere. It's been here. There are whole artists, people who have really big careers. DJs have really big careers. And because people who are writing about it don't pay attention to the genre at all. It's like to come and say it's the resurgence of something that's never gone away. That seems to be the bigger poo, you know, because honestly, house music has never gone anywhere, and it really made me go back and re-listen to both the Drake and the Beyonce tune. And I will say that the Beyonce tune has grown on me more, because I watched the kids at one Pride party and they played it, and they just seem so like they're young, you know, they don't know my 80s and 90s house music. They just seem so joyous and happy. And I was like, well, actually, that is the feeling that you want with house music. Like us who have been around it or in it, we listen to these songs and understand, you know, they're more of a commercial house moment. But if I'm 22, I don't know Sound Factory Bar and Frankie Knuckles playing. David Morales is still around, but, you know, and there's still, you know, 718 sessions in Brooklyn and Body and Soul. But those musically enlightened kids who usually have parents who listen to house music are the ones I see at those parties. So seeing the young people really just having a moment, and when it got to the chorus, they just were all singing it, I was like, well, that's what it's about. You know, house is a feeling, and that's what it's about. So it's given me a new appreciation of that moment, because watching those kids love it. But like you said, right, some of the writing of this new genre that's now back.
That's how you, I mean, well, in defense of writers, a lot of these writers have been writing about dance music for quite some time, number one. And number two, that's the nature. Everything has to be a package. We know that. That's the nature. Everything has to be a movement. This is the nature of everything. You have to present it to people in a think piece, in a package, so that they can find. And it is, I will say, as someone who used to do these sort of things, a good way of slipping in an artist that they may not have heard of. So you use Beyonce as the carrot. Right. And then you can slip in the Alternates or somebody else.
And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping now, watching these kids have this moment, that, you know, they're on the Spotifys and the Apples that will generate
Robin S. Big article about Robin S. today in the New York Times.
Right. And that's what I love. Because what people don't realize is Robin S. never went anywhere. Robin S. currently has a #1 song on the Soul for House chart on TrackSource. And TrackSource is where all of the dance music downloads and all that stuff is. The Billboard Dance Music Chart, the Dance Club Chart, Dance Play Chart went away at the beginning of the pandemic because all the clubs are closed. And that chart has not reopened. It has gone away. So who knows if it's going to come back. So TrackSource really is the place. And Beatport, those are those dance charts. And, you know, Robin S. has been making music for years. Robin S. has tour dates all over the world, sold out. So I do love what you just said right there, right? Mainstream artists really bringing attention to, which is really an area where it's a lot of women of color, you know what I mean, who are house music artists, and men of color who are house music artists and DJs. So right, all of a sudden, Robin S. having an article in the New York Times. Robin S. has been around. That never would have happened. Never. So I love to see that. That makes me really super happy, you know?
Well, let's talk about something that was not so joyful.
Okay.
The BET Awards.
Oh, yeah, that happened. Well, it wasn't terrible. They're never really terrible.
First off, didn't they just happen like 6 months ago?
No. That was when they have their hip hop awards. The BET Awards, which is the biggest black award show. It's always but they did just have one, because they have the hip hop that happens in Atlanta.
Okay.
This is their big show, right?
Okay, so I did not watch it in real time because, as everyone
You don't watch
knows,
anything in real time except
No,
for
I watch 90 Days.
I was about to say, except for 90 Days.
In real time.
Wait. This is your fault. I have discovered this show, and evidently these people are from 90 Day Fiancé.
Which one?
The Family Chantal.
Oh! Now I was very late to Family Chantal. Yeah, that's not a good stuff. Yeah.
It's horrible, and I'm obsessed
No, it's horrible.
with it.
I would advise that's like sort of like I've never done drugs and now I'm going to do Molly. You might want to work your way up the pharmaceutical spectrum.
Obsessed with
they're horrible. They're
I mean,
horrible.
it's like, do y'all
I
even
can't
like each other? It doesn't.
No,
seem
none of
like
them.
that
No, I
was
haven't
like-
been able to make it through like
It was
more
like
3 episodes.
literally none
they're
of
horrible.
them like each other.
No, they're horrible.
It just
They're
makes no
absolutely,
sense.
they're absolutely fucking horrible people. I have no idea what's going
But
on
he's
with
so
that.
cute, and she's so pretty. And I'm
Yeah,
just
whatever.
like-
Yeah, they're great. They're
but they
idiots.
seem pretty horrible. It's like you're
No, they're
all
horrible. They're all
people.
horrible. They're really. I mean, yeah. There's like it's like having a movie where everyone is Darth Vader.
Right. That's kind of sorta.
Who am I rooting for here? All right, back to the BET Awards. Sorry, but yes, I do watch some things in real time. So I checked out the highlights. I'll say, okay, one of the highlights, Mariah Carey just coming out, giving a master class. Say what you want to say about Mariah as a human being, but she was singing. If there was a track, it was very subtle.
No, she was singing.
And she looked great.
And she was motherfucking snatched to the gods.
No, she looked amazing.
She looked amazing.
And she sounded great.
And the entrance, the silhouette, and then the butterflies, and then next thing you know,
it was peak Mariah.
It was
peak
like,
Mariah.
come on.
And the giving her the flowers, which can we retire that expression, please? I'm sorry. I'm all for the kids and their
I need
expression.
that, and she understood the assignment to go away.
Yeah, and also I feel seen. Yeah, all these expressions. We'll work on our thesaurus and dictionary of terms that we would like to administer. But anyway, she was great. Who else was great? Joe. I mean, all right. So the puppy thing.
I thought Doechii was the fiercest thing of one of the night.
I didn't see her. It's her.
And and I don't know why she's not getting more press because she turns it and she.
All right, I'm gonna have to check her out.
And Mooney, I thought Mooney Love turned it out. She stood there and she sang.
Mooney Love or Moni Love?
No, Mooney.
Oh, she needs to change her name.
No.
I mean, come on. I'm sorry. That's like saying,
Young
like my
kids don't
name
confuse
is
that. They don't.
Mariah Carey. I mean, well.
Well, there was Mary Carey. Remember Mary Carey, the porn actress
Yes,
who ran for
I do.
governor? I've donated to her campaign, and I don't even live in California. I was like, Mary
know.
Carey, that's horrible. Here's $25.
Anyway, so the whole thing was built around Puffy got some stupid award. All right.
He's the icon.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so there is no denying his contribution to black music and to pop music. As an A&R man, there is no denying him. I think we can stop pretending that he's a producer. I hope to God we can stop pretending he's a rapper. He's really not a dancer, but he is a great A&R man. And those Uptown songs still stand up. Mary looked great. She sounded great. Jodeci, all right, a little too old to be bumping and grinding, but they still sounded pretty good. But his acceptance, first off, the Missing You thing, it was a corny song to begin with. It remains corny, but his acceptance with a video of his late, frequently cheated on girlfriend, and him going on, who passed away very suddenly, several years ago, Kim Porter, by all accounts, a very lovely woman. But, this like anguished, I miss you, it just felt creepy. It just felt really tacky. I'm sorry. It really felt tacky. I'm not saying that he doesn't mourn her. I'm not saying that he doesn't continue to mourn her. But, come on. I mean, it just felt tacky. It really did. It just felt very tacky. Other than that, who else performed? I don't even know who else performed.
There was Lil' Kim.
Oh, God. Yeah,
who we're just going to leave that there. And it's so good.
Is this like the new thing? Everybody looks like they've had ribs removed. It's just I am never going to, I don't want to criticize women in terms of their looks, but if you're someone who is presenting, they don't look healthy. They don't look good. It looks like a Frankenstein monster, like pieces put together. But
there's definitely something in the culture where I think it's like everybody who's walking around with these butterfly eyelashes on their face, right? And they're doing it really young. It's like people are walking around. They're like, I'd rather look a certain way in person because it photographs pretty. and it's giving me what I want in pictures. It's almost
Right.
like how you look in real life doesn't matter. It
Doesn't matter. Everything's being done for television.
It's all done, and even the people who are not on TV, you see the people walking around. You're like, why you have that wig that looks really wiggy? Why
No,
do
they
you
look
have
good.
those big lashes on your face?
No,
And I
it's-
realized, oh. This is all for TikTok and Instagram.
And Instagram, it's all
this is
Instagram.
for your social your because by the time you put all the filters and everything on, you look like a supermodel. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter in person because you have this whole other life that's
Yeah.
equally
I
as
mean,
important, I guess, in some aspects.
I don't know. I mean, it's just me. I mean, I have, I'm not going to go into my moral qualms with Puffy. He just this sort of like messianic thing that he has now adopted is just very tiresome. He also looks like a really beat up Chadwick Boseman now. I just don't. I find him to be problematic. Worthy of whatever cockamamie made up award they gave him. I'm very troubled to see Trey Songz still being invited to things. I don't know what Jesse Smollett was doing there, but white, pop music shows
Well,
invite creeps too. They
right,
invite
well-
creeps too, so it's not just BET. So I thought Latto was proved that she's very worthy of her moment.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine at her label, and I was like, I didn't see her coming, but
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I'm entertained.
Yeah.
I'm entertained, and I like these songs. You know what I mean?
I just wish they were talking about something, but what else is new?
But you know what? They're the ones. The unfortunate part is, there are a lot of female MCs who are talking about something, but are they the ones we get to see and hear? You have to really look and go online and find them, because what's being pushed forward is stuff that clearly works pop adjacent
Megan,
almost.
I would say Megan vacillates between the bangers and something, you know. But all in all, it was an entertainment show. I mean, it didn't grab me. There was nothing there that really grabbed me, to be honest with you.
I gotta be
Again,
honest with
I'm
you.
not the audience. I'm not the audience.
I gotta be honest with you, none of it grabs anymore. Again, I know I keep saying this, but I think when I was watching parts of it, I just thought, because I started in video promotion, so I've been to all of these shows a million times. And I don't think I've ever sat in the audience at any of them except one MTV Awards. I sat in the audience. So I always see it from I'm so glad I don't have to do this anymore, because it's like you do all of that work, then it happens, and then it's done, and then you're on to the next thing. And I just watch it all now, and it just seems like giant promotion for shit. So even all the award shows, it's just all.
And can they retire the flash pot at this point? I mean, Jesus Christ, every single show has it's just enough. But it was fine. Yay, people won things.
People won
Yay.
things. Yay.
People won.
Yay.
Yay, people won things.
It was nice.
All right, so
Yay.
Drake, as predicted by Chris last week, #1 streaming. No surprise.
No,
I mean,
and number one
surprise.
album on the Billboard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
he has
number
and he has the #1 single. Interestingly enough, with one of the 2 rap tracks on the album. Because
Well,
what did we say?
there's a
Jimmy
shocker,
Cooks,
right? Yeah,
and it's #1 on the Hot 100.
Yeah, and 21 Savage is definitely having a major moment.
And you and I
right
said it was like, it won't be this time where he has like all of these songs in the top 10, because
But he has 14 tracks, right?
Yeah,
14 tracks on Billboard right now. Mm-hmm. That's kind of crazy.
Well, because of how that shit breaks down, right?
Right.
I have to tell you, I go back and forth with how I feel about people being able to pick all over your album as opposed to having to listen to an album as whole. It's like you create a body of work, and I do feel like with this Drake album, it's not about singles. It's a body of work. Whether you love it, whether you hate it, it's a body of work. When this whole idea of then this track can be here, this track can be here, is still really weird to me. But as long as people are listening, right? I do like that I don't know what I like, child. I just like that people are paying attention to dance music again, because it is a genre in house music that people don't take seriously, and it's hard work, and people in that field work really hard. And it is a lot of people of color. It's a lot of queer people. And I want them to get their due, because it's, people are out there working hard. So if Drake and Beyonce are...
So the irony, of course, is that the two biggest dance music artists in the country right now are a straight biracial guy and a straight woman. That's the frightening thing.
That doesn't mean that they're the biggest, because they're getting the most attention.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Well,
that's what I mean. I mean, it's like they are the gateway drug, hopefully, to real dance music.
Well, the thing is, I love that I saw that Robin S. posted that Beyonce sent her flowers with a great note, you know what I mean, about being an inspiration. And like you said, today there's an article about Robin S. in the Times. And if you read that and the kids go online and you start to listen to a Robin S. song, the playlist that you'll be directed to, if you do like a Genius playlist, or if she's put on somebody's playlist, will expose you to a lot of other artists. So it's like, listen, I'll take it however I can get it. I want everyone to really dig into the house music genre, and they will find... No,
I agree. I'm just saying there's an irony in that we're talking about a genre that celebrates queer artists of color, and we currently have two cisgender straight people. Mm-hmm. It's just always like, let's make it palatable, and then we'll throw in the real shit. So yes, obviously I would like it too, but it's just sort of funny that,
Well, one counts as the queen of the gays, so like she's like their queen mother. I want to see a video, because I need some club dancing. I want her to vogue down to the ground. I want full cuntiness, and I have a feeling we're going to get that.
I don't.
Oh, come on. I think she knows. If she's going to make this kind of record.
I don't want full cuntiness.
Oh,
no,
yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't. I want a Big Frida album. How's that? Let's give her.
Big Frida has been putting out lots of music.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. That's when we know the tide has really changed. Mm-hmm. And I'm not discounting.
But Frida has full albums. You do know that.
No, but I'm saying now. Yeah. Now.
Well, she's on RCA Records. She's got a real deal. So Frida's going to come with shit. She's been dropping great EPs. Oh, absolutely. Listen, there's no way that she's going to make, be on her second single with one of the biggest artists in the world and not capitalize. You can't. It's almost like, remember when we were like, the Janet Jackson documentary was there, and we were like, y'all don't have a song. Like, where's the song? It's like the world is talking about her. It's like everybody's looking, and we're still waiting for the song. And Adele's residency. Well, hey, all of the people who have tickets for Adele's residency, you should go to London this weekend, because apparently those concerts are actually happening.
Well, if you can get out of the country. All right. Speaking of London or England, Glastonbury.
You're the only person I know who was traveling and did not have any problem getting in and out of the country. Do you realize you are the only one?
I beat
Everybody
the
else I know has been stuck in airports all over the world.
It's funny you say that, because Turkish Air canceled our flight between Kosovo and Istanbul. We were supposed to leave on one day, and they bumped us to a day earlier. We're like, you can't just do that. We have to stay someplace in Turkey. Like, what are we crashing?
Right.
And they're just canceling things because they can, basically. But yes, we dodged that bullet big time. So Glastonbury, the highlights, it's a huge festival, probably, I think, still the most important festival. I really do.
It is the most important festival.
And I think it's the one that all of them are based on, really,
and it is why whenever an artist is asked to headline, they talk about how important it is to them, and they always talk about that gig, because it is, I don't care. All of these other ones all around, they are based on Glastonbury, and it is the premier one. It's the one.
So there, I guess the major the major headliners were Diana Ross, who I watched. The vocals were questionable, but Diana
she's
Ross.
a legend.
It's Diana Ross. I'm very happy. They always have like some sort of
the legend. It's
vaguely kitsch.
It's on the Pyramid Stage in the Legend spot, which is like the premiere spot. It's in the afternoon on Sunday.
Right. Paul McCartney, who I've seen. He's Paul McCartney, but I don't know. And he has the flashing of the video with Johnny Depp behind him, which is an old video, but in light of what Johnny Depp has done, I think you could have found another video clip. Pet Shop Boys, just phenomenal.
Made their return. The last time they played was 2010.
And it's just so remarkable to see the way, not that people don't love them here, but just to see the way that they are accepted and integrated into the British music scene as opposed to here where they're an outlier. It's wonderful. So they were great. Kendrick Lamar headlining with, I don't know,
A Crown
I didn't
of
see the whole.
Thorns.
I didn't see the whole thing. They're only showing clips. People in England were able to watch it, I guess, on BBC Player. Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. BBC Player. It looked great. It looked like everybody was having a good time.
Billie Eilish was.
Billie Eilish, right? I forgot about her. TLC, who I didn't even know. No, I'm not saying this to be mean. I didn't know that they were actively touring. Or playing.
They stay on the road. They sounded great. They sounded
great. And again, not to get back to the way that women look, but holy crap, does Chili age?
I mean, she looks she looks like
does
the same
she age?
person.
I mean, seriously. And T-Boz looks great.
And when T-Boz opened her mouth, I was like, you sound great.
Great.
It's like, work.
Great.
Oh my God, you know who else? And they underestimated the Sugar Babes. They put the Sugar Babes, because the Sugar Babes they didn't put them on the main stage. It was the reformed Sugar Babes. They put them in the Avalon tent, which is one of the smaller size stages, the dance tent. So many people showed up that it looked like the main stage. They had to cut off access to the area of where the Avalon stage was because it literally was filled to the rim, then completely out and completely out. They were like, no one else could come here because one, you can't even get in, you can't see them. So it seems like it was a triumphant moment for them, and they just announced their first tour together as the original three in over 20 years in the UK for October, November. You know, listen, it seemed like a good time was had by all, and one day we have to get to Glastonbury because that's the one. That really is the one.
I am not a huge festival
Neither
person.
am I. So it would be
like Afro-punk was exhausting enough for me.
Me too, and I was backstage.
Yeah, no, Afro-punk is the moving around. I like to settle in, watch my music, and be done with it.
I am not a festival person. I'm not into the dirt. I don't need to be standing.
Everything.
I'm not into it.
I'm not into all of it. But no, it looked good, and hopefully the rest of the Pet Shop Boys stuff will be available, I'm sure, sooner than later.
Well, they come here in like September.
Right.
And please, hey, Neil, I know you listen. Chris, we just need 2 tickets.
Well, he has done Rock's back pages.
I know.
And Barney and Mark said he is the nicest guy in Nicetown. Mm-hmm. So one never knows.
So hopefully he's listening, or somebody who knows them. Hi, we just need 2 tickets. Just 2.
You know who knows them? It's Tammy Faye Starlight. Remember, they went to her show. Or maybe she doesn't know them.
Did they go to the Tamar? They went to her Tamar show?
No. As Tammy Faye. Her Nico show. I think she went to her Nico show in L.A. a long time ago. But it's not an impossibility. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. So keep hope alive. They are playing very big venues. They're playing Barclays. So they're not playing, the Cutting Room. And this sort of feels like a swan song tour, which is fine. They can do whatever the hell they want.
It doesn't feel like a swan song tour.
It's a greatest hits tour.
Yeah, but they do those occasionally. They're known for those. Yeah. It's not a swan song tour.
Well, I love them. They can swan song. They can duck song. They can do whatever they want. I do love them. All right, you can talk about Serena Williams because I don't really pay attention.
Serena Williams is You don't watch tennis?
No, I do, but I just don't even.
You're like I'm one of those. If it's on,
no, if it's on, and can I be really honest? I do actually enjoy tennis, and I enjoy. Okay, first off, can I tell you that for years, until I was corrected, I called it Wimbledon. And my friend is like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Wimbledon," and they go, "There's a D in there," and I'm like, "Oh."
You're like, "Oh yeah, that." Anyway, that. Yeah. Well,
no, I watch like the big matches. I do watch the big matches.
Wimbledon just started yesterday, and Serena has gotten a wild card slot, so she is playing, and her first match is today at 11:45, and this is exciting. Listen, I think that this feels like a swan song to me. Her coming back, I feel like she wants to, the way it ended, do this in the U.S. Open and be out. I really, for some reason, I feel that. And it would just be great to see her on the court again.
Yeah.
I love her.
So if she wins, is this one of those she wins and she goes into...
If she wins, she will finally have...
somebody records
like the Margaret Court, I think... Will she tie Margaret Court?
Margaret Court's a horrible human being. If it's the person I'm thinking of. So good.
But if she, 24, and I believe she then beats.
Okay, so if she gets to 24, because I would just hate to see her keep trying, and by attrition.
And I feel like she has one in her. I really do. And with honestly, one of the biggest people she was having problems getting by was Naomi Osaka.
Right, and she pulled out.
And once again, she's doing a lot of things. Tennis isn't one of them. So
she's injured. I mean,
she is, but I think there's a little bit of a focus issue with Naomi and some of the other. I was watching this thing with other tennis players, and they were just kind of like, "All right, girl, all right."
I can't put listen. It's a prestige sport. It's one of, we've talked about this. It is one of the few sports where you are out there on your own. Mm-hmm. So. I would rather Naomi Osaka pull out than have to watch Serena Williams endorse migraine medicines. I don't get that, why she's doing that with her child in the commercials. I'm sorry. That's just me, but I hope she wins because Serena is one of the good ones.
She's a living legend.
She's great, and it would be great for have her come to triumph. It really would.
I need to see her hoist that trophy one more time.
And it would be great to see Nadal win again too.
Yeah, well, he just won, and he just won the French Open.
Right. So this is like, it would be this and then the U.S. Open. Mm-hmm. All right. I would like to see him win too. So what are we listening to? What are you listening to? I kind of went radio silence as of last week, but there was some stuff that I think I told you this, that a few weeks ago I started really listening to Neo again. I've always thought Neo is...
He has an amazing voice.
A great voice, and he's a great songwriter.
Yep.
I mean, he wrote one of Beyonce's biggest hits.
Yep.
He's a great songwriter, and Year of the Gentleman, I think, is just... I mean, I just think he writes great songs. I mean, and his work with Stargate, who are the Norwegian production team, and that whole sort of Scandinavian pop R&B. But Year of the Gentleman, to me, beginning to end... Miss Independent. I just think Come Closer. I just think he's a great songwriter. I think he's a great performer. He is a performer with a capital P, performer. He's from Vegas, and he kind of has that ingrained in him. And so I love that. I started listening to the new Regina Spektor record, who's somebody that I've always kind of never given a lot of attention to, but in theory, and she's really good. It's called Home Before and After. And then I listened to the new Tove Lo. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, and she's another one of these girls. I never know which one she is, but her new song is called True Romance, and it's great. It's just a great, great single. So that is what I've been listening to. And you? You have to say for some reason. You have to say for some reason.
For some reason, last week was Pride, and I've been listening to Ultranate's new single "Miracle" a lot on repeat. I love it. And honestly, I started playing I'm going through my little house music section of vinyl, and I started pulling out all of these old garage classics, and then a lot of Sylvester, a lot of Grace Jones, and I kind of have been throwing in the Beyonce tune in there a little bit. And, just like all of the stuff for Pride, because I would be out and I'd be hearing some music and then come home and play it. And I've had moments because of, just scrolling through social media, seeing everybody play Break My Soul. And so occasionally I've thrown it on and it's growing on me more. So I would say just dance, just being gay. I was gay. Everything gay, that's what I've been listening to for the last week.
I feel bad. What about the poor gay people who listen to country music or industrial? What do they do during Pride? I feel like they are
they come out too. We are all I know, but it's like
we don't celebrate. Like, I'm super gay and I only listen to Ministry.
Right.
We need to.
Well, no, actually, I will tell you, you go to Rock Bar on Christopher Street. Rock Bar is almost down by the Hudson, and they are the gay rock bar. So you're not going to come in there and hear Kylie Minogue or Dua Lipa.
Okay.
You'll hear Ministry and all of the rock shit. There is a tribe.
I'm concerned.
I was going to say, no, there is a tribe for you, honey. We have it. There is a tribe
Good.
for
I just want to
you.
make sure. In an all-inclusive world, I just want to make sure that, or the lesbians who listen to Katie Lang or whoever, or Melissa Etheridge. I just want to make sure everybody's included in this celebration, which looked like it was a lot of fun, and you guys got good weather for it. So that was.
You remember
good
that
too.
summer when I was a lesbian? I used to listen to a lot of Melissa Etheridge. It was really, and the Indigo Girls. I was really an Indigo. I was a really an Indigo.
Oh my God, I hate the Indigo Girls. Oh my God. I just, I had a boyfriend, and I'm putting this in huge quotations, who was really into the Indigo Girls, and he was like the type of guy, he had, I don't even want to go into it because it's so annoying, but the Indigo, I just find them to be so crunchy and dreary, and that's it. But I just don't like things. I'll not like them, and then I never revert from that. You know what I mean? But I just find them to be so earnest and crunchy and ugh.
It was a moment. It was definitely a moment.
It's definitely a moment. I'll give you that. It's definitely a moment. And
I was more of a Katie Lang guy.
Katie Lang is the best.
Like, she sings her fucking
the voice.
face. That voice, man.
Amazing voice. Funny. That voice. You can see that's the thing. You can't deny that kind
and
of.
I love Katie when she was country Katie, and then when she
everything.
Yeah, all of it.
Her covers album. Is
oh my God,
great.
her singing 3 Cigarettes in an Ashtray is just. Or her cover of Roy Orbison's Crying. Ugh.
Well, she did an album where she covered only Canadian artists.
And
it was really great.
Yeah, and she also did an album where it's called Drag, and all of the songs are based around smoke and smoking.
Right.
It's really good.
Yeah,
but the one I think people really should hear is it's the live album. I believe it's Live by Request. I mean, the vocals on that album, like, she just blows me away.
All right. I don't even know how to. Yeah. Can I? All right. So the Supreme Court basically made women third-class citizens last week, and we saw this coming. This is not necessarily a political show, but this, to me, and I'm hoping for Courtney as well, and hoping for people, is not a political issue. This is a healthcare issue. It's very painful for me to talk about this. I have to be very honest with you, because this is a subject that has impacted me. It has impacted every single woman I know. And when I was 18 years old, maybe 18, I had a roommate who was much older than me. And she told me about getting a back alley abortion. And I have never forgotten what she said. And so, I don't know. It's just appalling. It's appalling that this is not a Christian country. This is a Judeo-Christian country. And it's also much more, it's just appalling to me what's going on. It's appalling to me that women are going to die, and that's not hyperbole. It's also appalling to me, to be honest with you, that this is being framed in terms of, well, what about the 12-year-old girl who gets raped by Uncle Fetus or Fester or whatever? And it should be, those situations do happen, but this should not be a situation where we have to make exceptions in the rare exception. So, I'm very happy. Courtney, I'm a mom, and I'm very happy that I had the legal right to decide when I wanted to become a mom. And that's all I'm going to say on that. And I think this is beyond voting. This is something drastic has to be done. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know what what do you think has to, I don't know what can be done.
I think that the Democrats, where they're not doing the right thing, is it's like you just tell people vote. That's bullshit. You have to target everything. What is the plan? Who to vote for? You need to show people where you need to say, we need the governor's race to be here in Missouri. We need this AG here. You have to break it all the way down, because they have already come for black people. They're coming for us with our voting rights. You see what they're doing. You see the laws that they're making. You see, was it Maine that they just said that they have to give public funds to parochial schools? And it's like, we have a separation.
And now you're allowed to pray. Now you can be in a public
church
school
and state.
Pray.
It's like people are putting their own. We have we don't have a real Supreme Court anymore. So now what we have is a conservative activist court, and they're doing what they do. So everybody needs to understand these state level races mean more than ever. Because they are coming. Oh, and especially all of that, everything in your state, vote for everything, because they are coming for
everyone,
and they're coming for gay rights. All of you gays who are married, and even you Republican gays who are married, there's no exemption for you. The thing is, I know a lot of women who've had abortions. I do. It wasn't things that they weren't happy about it. But the one thing I know,
wake up and have one.
But the one thing I know about, because when I hear all of these people talking, they're like the predatory abortion. They're like the predatory abortion industry. I'm like, are they? When you find out you're pregnant, are you starting to get calls from abortion? Like,
no,
I don't understand where that's coming from. And
it's very hard decision to make. I mean, I've had abortions. It's a very difficult decision to make, and it's made mainly by women who already have children. And so, Courtney, once that kid is born, are you going to pay for its education, or not you personally? Are you going to feed it? Because once they care about fetuses, they don't give a fuck about children.
No, well, guns have more rights than women now.
Yep.
Guns have more rights than women in America. That's just the fact.
So it's just
because they gave us, first of all, the fact that they're like the concealed carry shit in New York. I'm like, right now, do you know what's happening in New York? Right now is when you said, you know what you guys actually need?
Right.
More guns. I'm like, guns. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, because that's really what I thought we needed.
Yeah, I thought that too. I thought maybe more guns and maybe close down more mental health facilities, because that would be really great if we and maybe stop picking up all the trash and shut down.
And I saw something that I thought was really disingenuous by one of these people. I can't remember what state, but she was like, we have $100 million fund right now to help mothers. And I was like, that's not a lot of money.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. You need billions. Nothing. I'm sorry. If you're making people have children, and you have to help them with housing, medical needs, food, $100 million is nothing. That will, for a whole state full of pregnant people, that will go so fast, your head will spin.
Yeah, no, I just, like I said, and this is not...
They're coming for everybody. You and I have said this on this show.
Contraception.
Right. You and I have said this on this show. If you don't fight, we all have to put all of our differences aside, because you may think this issue's not your issue, but trust me, your issue's coming, because they're coming for everything. If you're not a white man, they're coming for you.
Right, and a certain type of white man, a white straight man, a white straight Christian man. No, I mean, like I said, it's infuriating on so many different levels. I mean, it also goes against the tenets of Jewish law because Jews believe that the mother's life does take precedence over the fetus. So, gee, thanks for that. But I like I said, it's just very, very upsetting. It's very disheartening. You don't take away rights, you give people rights. And this is not directed at you or any of the men I know, but I will say as a woman, I don't, just like either you're with us or shut the fuck up at this point. And I'm not talking to you because I know you are down for the cause on everything. But I'm just like, this is a health issue. I would never go with you to the doctor if you had a health issue. It's none of my business, right? It's none of my business. If you want to tell me, it's a health issue. And people think, oh, just have the baby. Really? Oh, just have the baby. Oh, sorry. I don't want to end things on a bummer, but it's just infuriating.
No, we're going to end and be like, guys, take to this. We got to
vote.
This is
more than vote. Vote local. You're exactly right, Courtney.
But you need to know exactly who and what you're voting for. And the Democrats better get it together. They better get it together.
Stop the purity tests. Stop these purity tests because you know what? I was not a huge Hillary fan, but this never would have happened under her. Never, never, never. And we have to stop these ridiculous, like, oh, they don't agree with me on everything. We'll triage it. Triage it.
Can I just say this? I know, like, you know what question they don't ask you when you're going to get an abortion? What party do you belong to? This idea that Republican women have not gotten any abortions is not factual because I know some Republican women who've had abortions.
And I know Republicans who have paid for them. They pay. You don't think Donald Trump has paid?
And then there's that. I mean,
give me a fucking
allegedly.
break. It's also going to go after women who use IVF. It very possibly could go after women. How many women do we know have children because of IVF? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you know women who got pregnant because of medical intervention.
I do.
It's infuriating.
I do, actually.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. Anybody we know who's over a certain age who has babies, that's pretty much how.
After years of trying to have kids.
After years of trying to have kids.
It took help. You know, it took help for her to have her children. But I just say we have to be galvanized and we all have to get past whatever our differences are because we're all fighting the same fight right now. It's like taking our rights. Like for the first time in history, a right has been taken. And Clarence Thomas is signaling from the bench, bring these other things in front of us. So it's like, you may not be gay, but you know what? I bet you, maybe it's your son. Maybe it's your brother. Maybe it's your dad. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it's your best friend. Do you think that your best friend, your son, your mom, your brother, your dad doesn't deserve to have the same rights as you do because of who they've fallen in love with? It's like people are so obsessed with what happens in our bedrooms. They don't think you could be in a sexless marriage like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's all bullshit. And on that note, thank you, everybody. You know the deal. Follow us every week on the Pantheon Podcast Network, where there are over 70 music shows that you'll love. We're there. There's really great shows on there, man, dude.
There are.
I don't even listen to that many podcasts, funnily enough, but there are a couple on there that I do listen to because I really like what they have to say. Anyway, that's a whole other story. And then you can follow us. You know the deal. At Twitter, at FinishIma. We fucking hate that word. ImmaLetYouFinish NY on Instagram. ImmaLetYouFinish podcast on TikTok. Twitch.tv/CourtMonty on Twitch. Facebook at ImmaLetYouFinish, all one word. We're just everywhere. So remember, leave a note.
And we're coming to your house. If you have snacks, we will come and perform, right? Isn't that the thing? We're taking this on the road for the summer?
Especially if you have Twizzlers, Red Vines, Skittles. I'm completely a Twizzler person.
You know, I'm a
Red Vine, and I'm really a Red Vine person too. And I'll make people send me, but I like them from California. I feel like the New York ones don't taste right, so I'll have friends send them to me from California.
You want artisanal Twizzlers?
Yes, I do. I want motherfucking artisanal licorice, honey. I want it all artisanal. Artisanal licorice, artisanal dick. Give me the artisanal.
That'll be your drag name.
That'll be artisanal, okay? And I'm going to sing Me Lynn Farmer songs with moody lighting. With moody lighting. Where is the Me Lynn single? Miss Thing, Me Lynn, are you listening? Where is your single?
She hasn't.
Where's the
she
single?
hasn't learned to unsing yet. She's practicing not singing.
Listen, I need one of my girls with questionable vocals and high production value to come this summer. It's like, where are you, chicks? You give me all of the life. I need one of you. Me Lynn, where are you?
Maybe they will all come at once, and then you'll have a plethora of bad.
Mm-hmm. But it's never really bad. It's fierce. It's just like, it's one of those things where
like super bad.
It's one of those things like,
bad.
you know how there's certain people who have songs they have to write because their voices are, how do we say, unique? And when other people sing their songs, they always sound weird. Like, only you can sing this song because only you has that voice that, I don't know what key that is, but that's okay. Something. Yeah, I need one of those. Overrated. I need one of those girls to come back. I do. Well,
they will. Hold faith. Keep hope alive.
And please bring wind. And I need wind and outfits. Wind and outfits.
Okay, now you're gay. Now you're being and abortions. Okay.
Ciao. And on that note, we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package, with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.